Jim, the did you, I mean, you mentioned that you already had that freedom, but he was, stubborn on one side. But did any wrestler in particular, approach you with concern or with discontent because he or she didn't wanted that particular, music theme? And if yes, which one? And did it work, the music theme you proposed?
There are some variants on that storyline description. First of all, for the most part, um, I I didn't deal directly with the wrestlers too
Okay.
much. Uh, Fortunately, I was sort of protected from that because the rare times that I would deal directly with the wrestler, interestingly, frequently they didn't get the concept of entrance themes, that it's sort of like scoring a movie, that it's not really about your favorite record. And if I would speak directly with the talent, they would most frequently say they want something. Either they would say something like, when I work out with this Metallica record and I want something like that. Or they would say, oh, I want something with the same, energy and vibe as Steve Austin's music. Uh, I'm trapped because I want to be kind and respectful, but what needs to be said is Metallica and Steve Austin's music have nothing to do with your character whatsoever. I remember Yoko. Uh, he called me, managed to get me on the phone and said he wanted to change his music from the Japanese sumo wrestler stuff. And, I'm trapped now on the phone with the guy. It's like, well, what are you thinking? He goes, well, I'd like some hip hop. And I say, Yoko, you're a sumo wrestler. You're not a hip hop guy. But from his perspective, and I don't mean to be mean here, but he was like, well, but I live in LA. And, so it made perfect sense to him that, why couldn't I have a hip hop thing? And so in general, no, I didn't get involved with the talent. There were certainly times when people, the talent, the company didn't get a theme or thought like, wow, this will never work, or hated it. I never spoke to him directly, but Randy Orton apparently hated his theme. I don't know if he still does, but and I don't even know why, but apparently that was true. I never spoke with him about it. When I first did the theme for Goldust, it was so different and so kind of not a wrestling theme that people were off-put, and then it ended up becoming, one of the more popular themes. But I give him a lot of credit because one thing that's such an important element in themes is, yes, it has to be the right theme, but I describe it, it's like a dance, and the theme is the dance partner, and the wrestler has to learn to live inside that theme. And we can talk about it later, but and while I told you before this interview that I don't do trash talking interviews, but that the closest I'll get to being critical is, that absolutely, I think that I want to slap Vince upside the head because I don't know what's happened to the music. Is so bad these days. It's like just sound effects and noises and stuff. It doesn't have anything to do with the characters and the storylines anymore. And that's the essence of this business, are these characters and storylines, and that's currently lost. I don't get it. But you know, just go down the list. Undertaker and his music, they're one thing. They're you know, Steve Austin, you know, Hunter in the Game. You know, they're, you know, Triple H, he is the Game. You know, I mean, it isn't like that coincidentally is his music. It couldn't, you know, and it goes as far as one of the frustrating things is when I would write a theme, particularly for someone who's really popular, it would so stick that I could never use that singer again. I mean, most of the time I played all the instruments and everything myself. So the music, you know, I could do. But when it was a song that the sound of that person's voice would become so integral with that theme that I could never use the guy or the woman again to sing on another theme, because it'd be like, oh, that's the girl who sang for, you know, Trish Stratus or something. So that was always a great frustration. Like Chris Warren on Degeneration X. I mean, I did actually use him twice, but that was only because early on, before we did the game, there was a song called My Time that he did for Triple H in China. And, but then that got replaced by the game. So I got lucky with that one.
Yeah, so I'll translate that briefly to Spanish. En aquel momento dado, le pregunto sobre si había un luchador o alguien que se molestara por algún tema en particular que le propuso y no le gustó. Menciona que él no trabajaba directamente con los luchadores en la mayoría de los casos, simplemente era con Vince. Pero Yokozuna en una ocasión lo llama y le dice, oye, esta música de sumo que tienes, no la quiero, quítala, quiero hip hop, pero tu personaje no va con el hip hop. Sí, pero yo vivo en Los Ángeles, pensaba Yokozuna, y pues en su mente hacía sentido. Ahora tengo este tipo hablando conmigo por teléfono, y al igual que él, Randy Orton, Randy no le gustó el tema musical de entrada que él le compuso en un momento dado. Goldust, por ejemplo, el tema de Goldust era algo completamente distinto que funcionó y le da bastante crédito a Goldust por ello. Pero hay algo en particular, y es que la crítica que le hacen en estos momentos es que la música de ahora no encaja. Él dice que no hace trash talking en las entrevistas, pero que le dan las ganas de darle la cabeza a Vince McMahon en esas ocasiones, porque él siente que pues, Undertaker y su tema de entrada es uno, encajan con el personaje, está escrito particularmente para el personaje. The Game para Triple H, pues Triple H es The Game, entonces encajan perfectamente. Pero ahora mismo no estamos viendo eso, simplemente vemos música pues, porque sí. Y hace un comentario bastante interesante, y es que en aquel momento dado el artista que lo utilizaba, pues él hacía la música por lo general y componía y todo, pero el vocals que él utilizaba, la voz, no podía muchas veces utilizarla porque pegaba tanto que ya, por ejemplo, el de DX, que es Chris, él pues pudo utilizarlo para DX y para My Time, pero entonces para The Game ya no se pudo, hay que irse entonces con otra persona, y así sucesivamente con el resto de las cosas. Entonces funcionaba tanto y era un poco frustrante en aquel momento dado ese aspecto, por el hecho de que pues ya pegó, perfecto, excelente, pero ya no puedo utilizar esto y me quedé corto pues de algún artista que otro.